Hi, and welcome back to Temple Baptist Church Online Devotion. I'm glad that you're with me today. I'm continuing my study in the names of God. And today we find ourselves in the book of Exodus, Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. And today we're looking at the name of God, I am. I am. In fact, literally what we're going to see here is God calls himself, I am who I am. And so here in this particular chapter of the book of Exodus, we find that Moses had been born. And you remember that Moses, when he was born, he was put in a basket, put in the river. Pharaoh's daughter found him, and then she decided to keep him. And so Moses was raised in the home of Pharaoh by Pharaoh's daughter. And so he would have grown up hearing a lot about gods with a small g, and he would have grown up as well hearing Pharaoh describe himself as a god. But also because Moses' mother was his nursemaid, he would have heard many things about the Hebrew people. And at some point, he came to know that he as well was a Jewish person, a Hebrew person. And in fact, what we find is as a young man, Moses gets into a fight, kills a man, and then runs off to hide so that he won't be caught. But God knows exactly where Moses is. And we find ourselves in Exodus chapter 3, and let me read this passage to you. It says, moreover, and this is Moses out in the wilderness, tending the flock. God appears to him in a burning bush, and God begins to talk to him. And God says to him in verse 6, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And there, that word for God is Elohim. Then he says, and Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, have heard their cry because of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. So I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up from the land to a good and large land, into a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. And so God was saying to Moses, I've come to rescue my people. And God is going to choose Moses as his ambassador in that rescue plan. Moses says to God, when I go to the people and say to them, and when I go to Pharaoh and say to him, our God says this, who do I say that your name is? And so we find this down in verse 13. It says, then Moses said to God, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers, has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And God said to Moses, I am who I am. And then he says, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. And so God describes himself as I am. Literally, that is the word Yahweh. It's in the Hebrew language, YHWH, and then they put in the vowels A and E, and so we would pronounce that as Yahweh. Here, God is indicating his eternal uniqueness and his absolute sovereignty over all things. He is saying, I alone am God. And when we read that phrase, I am who I am, that's literally, I will be who or what I will be. God is saying to the people as he speaks through Moses, There is none like me. I am the only God. Well, we trust that in your life, you know him as the only God. He is supreme over all things. He is the one who is the creator, and he is the one who has made himself known to his creation. He alone is Yahweh, the Lord. We hope that you know him in a personal way. And if you don't, we'd love to help you. At Temple Baptist Church, we meet on Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. and at 6 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. If you don't have a church home, we'd love for you to come and join us here and let us help you grow in your faith in God. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.